assaulted by officers last year, lied about it. 65-year-old Thomas Ditch is charged with making a false written statement. Police say in late November, Ditch reported to police that other officers hit him and slammed him into a police car during an arrest along with his son. But police say after reviewing body camera video and further interviewing Ditch, they determined Ditch and his son were not.
Okay, Andy, you need to go and get off out of my room because you're not welcome up here.
I need to get away from you.
It doesn't matter. You either go
get away
outside
from me or, go,
or you sit in the living room.
I used to work and used to live on my own. Never needed any help. Which is not true at all.
Can help you. You need to not fight them. So Jen, you're going to have to pick me up because I'm not going to fight. I don't want to go to the hospital that accuses me for refusing help. And I don't want to be abused anymore.
If you want me to eat poop, I need you to subscribe to my channel, get me 1 million subscribers plus.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Ditch Diaries. In today's episode, we'll be discussing more about the other members of the Ditch family, as well as the horrors they've endured over the years with baby Andy's diaper degeneracy. So once more, sit back, get comfortable, and be prepared to be uncomfortable as we dive into another shit show. We'll start off with the patriarch of the family, Thomas Ditch. Born October 7th, 1953, not much is known about his early years of life, other than he attended Kenmore East High School and went on to get a bachelor's degree, though the field is unknown. Thomas married his first wife sometime between his late teens to early 20s, where they had 2 children together named Michael and Danielle. They divorced at some point in time, and Thomas went on to marry Janet Passino, where they had 2 children together named Andrew and Joseph. He worked for countless years in a variety of jobs until he suffered a back injury after slipping and falling on spilled oil. Thomas and Janet ended up suing his former employer due to this, claiming that Thomas was hurt all over and left with permanent suffering and such. Janet was also noted saying she'd been deprived of things such as comfort, care, consortium, etc. from Thomas being injured, as by this point Janet was disabled and relying on Thomas mostly for help. Janet Ditch, maiden name Passino, was born on January 2, 1951. Not much is known about Janet's life before her marriage to Thomas, other than she worked as a nurse for some time before becoming disabled and unable to work. Even though she was mostly homebound, Janet constantly had to rush Joe to the hospital due to his severe asthma. Due to this, as well as taking up most of Thomas's attention, caused Andrew to have resentment and hatred towards her.
The thing I want to talk to you about, a little upsetting for me. It's not upsetting that I don't want it to happen or I don't like it to happen, but my mom is being discharged next week. My big issue is my mom is being discharged. She wants to come home. That is her choice. That's her right to choose. That's what she wants done. I asked her, Mom, are you able to walk up and downstairs without help? She said no. She needs somebody to help her. Are you able to go to the bathroom, walk to the bathroom and back? She said yeah. Are you able to take a shower on your own? She doesn't know because she didn't have anyone evaluate her for that. So I asked her another question. Are you able to clean up if you have an accident? She said, I need help. Are you going to give Dad a hard time of getting up to cook dinner and stuff and to do things? No. So I asked her that stuff. I said, Mom, Dad isn't able to help you with some of the stuff that you're saying you need help with. Why are you wanting to come home if you can't handle that? And I told her, it takes the care away from Dad from helping me. And you know what he said? Or she said? Well, you're gonna have to deal with it. I said, well, Mom, I have behavior issues that I can't help. How are you maybe to cope with my behavior issues with all of this? Well, you can tell Henry this. I said, okay, great, I'll tell Henry. So the issue becomes that I'm having a hard time with these issues because I'm afraid that Mom is going to not be able to handle it. Both me and Mom need help, so I need it's going to be very difficult for Dad, if you know what I mean.
This is a great example of the lack of empathy he has for anyone outside of himself. Instead of thinking about his mother, who probably wanted to return to the comforts of her own home, all he can think about is all the time, attention, and care that she'd be taking away from him by taking up Thomas's time. And because of things like that, Andrew doesn't care about his mother, but then will go on to call her his rock at times. Joseph Ditch was born on April 27, 1988, and is the youngest son of Thomas and Janet. As a child, he was diagnosed with severe asthma and autism that actually required the attention of his parents. He's an amazing trumpet player, so let's take a moment and watch his beautiful playing.
I don't want you to hurt my ears. I don't want you to hurt my ears. I don't want you to hurt my ears. You're not hurting my ears. I'm not going to allow you to hurt my ears. I'm not going to allow you to hurt my ears. I'm not going to allow you to hurt my ears. Move. I'm beating you. I don't want to beat you abusing me. I don't want you to hurt my ears.
He rammed me in the wall.
I don't want you to abuse me, you piece of shit.
Joe is honestly a saint when it comes to the Ditch family. From taking care of his elderly parents to putting up with the never-ending bullshit of Andy's for the last 30-plus years. He also runs his own YouTube channel. The link will be in the description. I highly recommend going over and giving him a subscribe, as every subscriber means Andrew's not getting his entitled way. Earlier in this video, I mentioned Thomas's first two children, but I'll mainly be talking about Michael, as I haven't found any information regarding Danielle, other than she was born in May of 1974. In the previous episode, we watched a clip where Andrew admits to lying about Michael sexually assaulting him as a child and how he was removed from the Ditch family household. I ended up stumbling upon a video that Andrew posted of a conversation he had had with Michael via email back in 2020. Let's watch this clip, as it's the only interaction I've ever seen between the two of them.
My brother Mike reply. Why is Kyle Dern asking me about you? Who is he? On Wednesday, July 15, 2020, Andrew Ditch. Mike's reply on Saturday to this email I wrote. Sorry for not knowing I started peeing when I was sitting taking my pills. I am sorry, pee on floor going to bathroom. I made a mess. Sorry to be so stupid. Sorry to forget to put diaper on. Sorry for faking. Sorry for being too stupid. Sorry for being bad and rely on others. Am I that bad as Kyle says? Mike, you said that he called you. I have friends who are strangers on Facebook trying to make me feel better because I need group home and diapers and rough day and scared of new people and things, and how encouraging my day was for my new doctor helped me with getting group home. I don't want to be relying on people if I am too much of a bad person. I don't want autism. Is autism like this for everyone? I can remember facts but can't do the simple things. Dr. Murray saw my chicken dinner I made and I wanted to show my potential for cooking. No recipe, just in my head. Like when younger I go to bed thinking math problems in my head. Then at 12 and 10 grade math I could do 6-digit multiplication, division, algebra in my head, no paper, no calculator needed. Then I go from the Delaware Fox School to Cambridge to go back to first grade and I was bored. They didn't see my gift because my language problem. I want people to know because language problems, they shouldn't let the skills the person is gifted in to be wasted. Like when you had college calculus and physics, you should have had me help you. I knew math never thought to me. Oh, my 5 days on my last year of school started off in pre-calculus and the common sense math. This was easy. I loved geometry, my favorite. Especially when it came to linear equations and slopes and coordinates and equalities in math. I had struggled with algebra because not knowing the change with only numbers, then going to numbers and letters. Geometry had letters and numbers too. I forgot my math, mainly the formulas. I forgot how to add and subtract fractions without making it into a decimal first. I know how to make a product of a fraction and the quotient of a fraction. Ops, you have to think product, multiply, quotient, divide, sum, add, difference, subtract. What about a polynomial or three-part equation? Such as investigate and write in simple terms 5x plus 5x squared asterisk 5x equals 120x. I had to use a calculator because I need to get back to my gift. Only if the world knew what my gifts are, they could only see me differently. Mike's reply. I think you want to give Kyle's message a go-over and really think about it. What if what he says is true? You have potential, but you sit there and do not apply yourself to add any kind of value to yourself mainly. You need to think, what are my actions doing now? No one can help you because if they don't give you what you want, you do something to drive them away. Your YouTube videos are sick, and personally I do not wish to even direct my awareness in your direction because all I see is a poor helpless person. I will not bother with you because I have no time to focus my energy on something that is always going to make me feel bad. Talking to you is draining. You are like a vampire that sucks the life out of people. So every day when you wake up, you should take some time to come up with what today's outcome is. What can I do to make the world a better place? And do those things. If every time I talked to you all I had talked about was bad things, you would stop talking to me. One thought can be like poison and could kill you. One thought could also change your life in a way you couldn't have thought to be possible. Your thoughts are yours and you are in charge of what goes on up there. The thought of I am autistic and no one is helping and for the rest of my life I am helpless and forever handicapped. That is indeed the poison that you take every day. It is a story that you tell yourself over and over and over again. And like a good genie, life says your wish is my command. When the real story is, you would rather give up than be a responsible human being. You have to have a YouTube channel because no one will listen to you. Why? Because all you have is bad things to say. That is draining on people who dare to pay attention. There are only 3 kinds of people in life. Type 1 draining everything is bad and negative equals draining people don't feel good after talking to you. Type 2 neutral neither uplifting or draining after speaking to this person you don't feel any different. Type 3 uplifting, this person is positive makes you feel good about yourself and when you are done talking you feel good and uplifted. You are type 1 and people who realize that my time is limited and therefore I will spend it on the things that are valuable to me. These people will walk away because they know that they cannot help you. No one has helped you because no one can help you. Only you can help you. If you want your life to change then you must change. If you do not change then your life will stay the way it is and you are the captain of your ship. Your destination is to a lonely island of pain, resentment, anger, disappointment. Welcome to Andy's island of misery. WHO wants to visit Andy. I spent my last 30 minutes writing this email for you and my guess you're not smart enough to take what I have written and extract the value from it. Instead you would argue and have excuses of how you tried to do so many things. There are no excuses, only results. And how you live today is a result of all of your previous efforts. So I say to you, look around and see what you have created in your life. And ask yourself, is this what I want? Seek change and you will find it. If you change then life will change. Quit making excuses about why you cannot do something and start doing them to get better. Every day, if I cannot have a better day than yesterday, what is the point of getting up? This you must do. I found Tony Robbins and listened to him read his books, went to some events, and my life will never be the same, and thank God for that. Web links, that is a breadcrumb for you. I say to you, shut up, be quiet and learn to be you wish to become. Too much thinking is bad for you. With all the thinking you can have no time to take in something you do not know and therefore you cannot change your thoughts and emotions. Learn to be quiet. I will also not be speaking or writing to you anymore because I don't have time to waste on people who will not change. You have the controls to your ship. Where you take it from here is up to you. You must read this, for this is the message I will leave you with. Maybe you could start by doing one thing to be a better version of you. Remember, if you change, your life will change. Namaski. Web links, breadcrumbs. I wrote this. I am glad that.
So, Mike, you're the person who started all this stuff. Similar wordings as other people, like your, like Aunt Diane. Wow. Julie, you're right. Maybe we aren't seeing who's really doing this. Maybe there's some people who are more closer to me than what I think. And Julie, you're right. I did take a little bit of this email way out of portion, but I don't think you're right about my brother trying to be positive so much about this. And for 2 reasons only. He wouldn't be telling me I'm blood-sucking vampire out of people's life if he wasn't trying to help me feel better about what I'm going through. I don't think he would be saying I'm too stupid to understand what he's saying. I really don't. But he is right. Worrying about all my problems isn't healthy for anyone or myself. He was right about that one, and Julie, you didn't say that. You thought about all the negatives he wrote. There's some positives in this, but it's also upsetting the way he worded it, and I agree with you, Julie, on that. And a few of my friends may feel the same on this. Let me finish this part.
I wrote this. I am glad Dad is asking me before he talks to anyone about me. He asked me today, who is this lady from 8PS, because I tried William, who number is no longer his. And a new supervisor took over. Then who is Crystal? Dad doesn't know who people are. Can I ask, how can I protect my privacy, and is there a way to have my providers use a password when talking about me with others so the person knows who is talking to them about me? Because I had Dad gets calls from 8PS claiming to be them and it's not. They call him with numbers 858 and their extension, not the DSS main number. I had to disable unknown callers on my phone so this will block the call. You all need to call me with a number. I am actually thinking about putting my phone to allow only people in my contact list to call me. So I don't get calls by strangers to threaten me, make noises, and or make mean comments to me. Mike's reply. Maybe quit with the videos. Take them all down. But you won't, because this attention is better than no attention at all. Just be quiet for a while and you will see. Turn off the noise in your head and listen to the silence. My reply to the 2 emails by Mike is still being uploaded as the time of recording. Kyle Dern, a stranger, writes similar to Dad by email and similar words to Aunt Diane and Mike, my brother. You heard how and what Mom said about this in my conversation with her. Being uploaded to YouTube now as this being recorded. Andy, you are the most disgusting human being I have ever seen. You think you're special, but you're just a monster. You manipulate and suck the life out of everyone around you like a succubus. Lying is just second nature to you, and I honestly think you may be a pathological liar. You don't have any of the issues you pretend to have. You might be autistic, but it doesn't change the fact that you could take care of yourself if you actually wanted to. But instead you treat the people around you like your own personal slaves. Need food? Call dad. Need your diaper changed? Call 911. Need someone to put your family in line? Call 911. Need to be nasty? Call crisis services. You're not a savant. You have no skills. You're worthless. You're a fat, disgusting, and stupid baby. You are a leech. A parasite. One day your parents will be dead, Joe will be gone, and everyone in town will have your number blocked. Then you'll die alone in the gutter like you deserve. If there's a hell, you're going there.
So, funny thing is, Mom agrees that started by my Aunt Diane. Very similar language. It's also what was said on my Come Mercy record, how my Aunt Diane sees me. Pathological liar. Dumb, stupid, worthless, leech. Those comments that I don't understand really. Manipulative. Similar to the way Mike wrote that way I took his email. Very similar how my brother Mike talks to my Aunt Diane, or our Aunt Diane, who shares value. Very funny thing is Mike used to talk to me all the time about me and be more encouraging and, and uplifting than what he has been since Aunt Diane started talking to Mike. Funny thing is my sister Danielle was talking to me and being, around me on Facebook. All of a sudden stops doing that. Very funny. I'm sorry. How once Aunt Diane gets to my life after 34 years not being in my life, only 1 year, my 34th year, she was involved. And then she disappears she was only involved from August 2018 into beginning of April 2019. That was when I was 33 years old, less than 1 year in my 34 years of life at that time was she ever involved in my life. Then she splits my brother away from me, Mike. She makes things worse between me and my dad. She makes things worse where she takes my friend Joanne out of my life. She also tears apart everything I have because I don't understand her motive behind it. I really don't. It confuses me. It's how somebody was so nice, so willing to try to teach me there's better people than her being around my dad, and then she tears me away from everyone I have in my life. Sad. I'm sorry.
Like with everything else in life, it's always someone else's fault and never his own. It's his parents' fault that he got skin infections from not changing his own diapers. It's caregiver's fault if Andy runs away and gets hit by a car, even though he knows how to cross the street. It's the police's fault for letting his family abuse him. Or as Andrew would say, abuse him. In November of 2019, Andrew was arrested by the Tonawanda police after his family discovered that he had been poisoning the water well of the family's coffee maker. It ended up making the local news, so let's watch the news segment regarding it.
Next tonight, a Tonawanda man now stands accused of spiking his family's food with dangerous levels of Epsom salts and laxatives. 7 Eyewitness News reporter Ala Arabi tells us more.
Police in the city of Tonawanda say 34-year-old Andrew Ditch spiked his family's food and coffee with laxatives and Epsom salts. Ditch allegedly sprinkled the substances on food and put laxatives in the reservoir of the family coffee machine. According to authorities, family members complained of nausea, abdominal pain, and severe diarrhea. Police say this all started in late October, and they're not saying anything about a possible motive. Ditch now faces a number of charges, including 2 counts of attempted assault. He's been arraigned in court, and bail is set at $5,000. He's expected to be back before a judge for a felony hearing Friday morning. In the city of Tonawanda, Ala Arabi, 7 Eyewitness News.
It wasn't mentioned, but Andrew also used magnesium sulfate as well. And he didn't stop there either, as he was also putting Epsom salts, magnesium sulfate, and laxatives into the food as well. Though I've only heard rumors of it, it's possible that Andrew also put his own feces in these things as well. It's unsure if actually true, but it's something I wouldn't put past him. That wasn't the end of the poisoning, as Andrew went on to put antifreeze in Thomas's coffee. He ended up going to the hospital where doctors conducted a blood test, finding that he had antifreeze in his system as well as 3 different types of sleeping medication.
I was going to die or pass out or whatever. I finally get back to Buffalo,
and I didn't even make it back to Grand Island. I wound up going to St. Joe's emergency room, and they took a blood test, and my doctor came back and told me, you're lucky to be alive. I says, what do you mean? He says, not only did someone put antifreeze in your coffee, but they put three different sleeping pills in it. And right away I told Andy, look, this is one thing I'm always scared about, even when I go to a restaurant or anything, walking away from there, that somebody could do something to tamper with your food. Yep. And I says, and here, you might be doing it. And then he started laughing, oh, you really do it, dude, I'm doing it.
As an emotionally disturbed individual, he gets off on the pain and suffering that he inflicts upon others. It didn't matter if he killed Thomas with the concoction of antifreeze and sleeping pills. It's all a fun little game to him. Even the family's 2 dogs have suffered at the hands of Andrew. But there are more horrors that we've yet to uncover. And with that, I'd like to bring this second episode to a close. Thank you everyone for watching, and remember to stay safe, as a wild poop squatch could be hiding in the bushes outside right now.